Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jam Shripad Paramamsa Pravijagacharya Ashtotra Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Go Premanande Rivo. What time you're leaving? 8:30? Okay, 8:30. All right. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtuki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 6, Text 47. Pritag diya karma drisho durashayam. Pritag diya karma drisho durashayam. Parodya yenarpita hridrujo nisham. Parodya yenarpita hridrujo nisham. Paranduruktair vitudanti arundatvas. Paranduruktai viditandu aruntadas. Tanmavadidaiva vadak bhavat vidaha. Tanmavidaiva vadha bhavat vidaha. Pritag diya kama drisho durashayam. Parodyanenarpita hridrujo anisham. Parandurukte vitudanti aruntudas. Tanmavadhidaiva vadhan bhavat vidaha. Pritag diya karma disho durashaya. Pritagdiya karma dushodurashaya Parodayana hridorujo nisham Paranduruktai vidudanti aruntudas Tanmavadi daivavadan bhavat vidaha Prithak, differently. Diyaha, those who are thinking. Karma, fruitive activities. Drishaha, observer. Durashrayaha, mean-minded. Para udayena, by others' flourishing condition. Arpita, given up. Hrit, heart. Rujaha, anger. Anisham, always. Paran, others. Duruktaihi, harsh words. Vitudanti, gives pain. Aruntudaha, by piercing words. Tan, unto them. Ma, not. Avadithit, kill. Daiva, by providence. Vadan, already killed. Bhavat, you. Viduhu, like. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Persons who observe everything with differentiation, who are simply attached to fruitive activities, who are mean-minded, who are always pained to see the flourishing condition of others, and those who give distress to them by uttering harsh and piercing words have already been killed by providence. Thus, there is no need for them to be killed again by an exalted personality like you. Please repeat after me, translation. Persons who observe everything with differentiation, who are simply attached to fruitive activities, who are mean-minded, or always pained to see the flourishing condition of others, and who thus give distress to them by uttering harsh and piercing words, have already been killed by providence. Thus, there is no need for them to be killed again by an exalted personality like you. Purport. Those who are materialistic and always engaged in fruitive activities for material profit cannot endure seeing the flourishing life of others. Except for a few persons in Krishna consciousness, the entire world is full of such envious persons who are perpetually full of anxieties because they are attached to the material body and are without self-realization. Since their hearts are always filled with anxiety, it is understood they have already been killed by providence. Thus, Lord Shiva, as a self-realized Vaishnava, was advised not to kill Daksha. A Vaishnava is described as Para Dukha Dukhi because although he is never distressed in any condition of life, he is distressed to see others in a distressed condition. Vaishnavas, therefore, should not try to kill by any action of the body or mind, but should try to revive the Krishna consciousness of others out of compassion for them. The Krishna consciousness movement has been started to deliver the envious persons of the world from the clutches of Maya. And when though devotees are sometimes put into trouble, they push on the Krishna consciousness movement in all tolerance. Lord Chaitanya advises, Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnunam amanina manadena kirtaniya sadaharihi. One cannot chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind. One can chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking himself lower than a straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. A Vaishnava should follow the example of such Vaishnavas as Haridas Thakur, Nityananda Prabhu, and also Lord Jesus Christ. There is no need to kill anyone who has already been killed. But it should be noted herewith that a Vaishnava should not tolerate the blaspheming of Vishnu or the Vaishnavas, although he should tolerate personal insult to himself. Om Ajnanathmirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I will have a shorter version today because there's a lot of things to cover. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. Offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Tavai vasmi, na jivami tvayena, iti vigyadetvam, nayamam charanantikam. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to this morning's Bhagavatam class. Very nice verse spoken by Lord Brahma to Lord Shiva. It's a continuous. The verse continues from yesterday. Well, there's a direct correlation between yesterday's verse and today's verse. In yesterday's verse, we saw that Brahma says to Lord Shiva, "My dear Lord, devotees who have fully dedicated their lives unto your lotus feet certainly observe your presence as Paramatma in each and every being. And as such, they do not differentiate between one living being and another living being. Such persons treat all living entities equally. They never become overwhelmed by anger like animals who can see nothing without differentiation." So in the previous verse, we can see how a devotee, what is a devotee, vision of a devotee, how he sees others. A devotee doesn't see the body, he doesn't differentiate. He sees the Paramatma situated in every living entity. He also sees the spirit soul situated in every living entity's heart, or sees every living entity as the spirit soul and not the body. So Lord Brahma says that the only people who see or differentiate between bodies is animals. Only animals differentiate. Human beings are expected to be of evolved intelligence. Their intelligence have evolved. They are not just animals. Their intelligence has evolved. What it means? Evolved means what? Building better buildings, like bees can build a civilization, a very complex civilization. We also build complex civilization. Some ants can maintain servants, slaves. We also have, at one point, maintained slaves. Now it's corporate world. The executives maintain low-level programmers as their slaves. So you can see other living entities, other animals, also have some kind of technological superiority between themselves. And, we do the same thing, slightly better or for worse. But conceptually, it's the same thing. So what differentiates a human being to have the evolved intelligence? If I'm building the same thing like animal beings, I'm defending same thing like a dog defends. What makes me more evolved? What makes the human beings more evolved? What makes us is Samat Drishva. What is that? Chapter 5, text 18. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmana Gavi Hastini, Sunichaiva Supakecha, Pandita Samadarshinaha. A Pandita, a person who is a learned person, when the person is learned, and when that learned quality is mixed with humility, one can differentiate between three sets of examples given, three sets of examples. One, between a Vipra and a learned Brahmana. Between a Vipra means just a beginner Brahmana. He has started the process, but he is not learned. So a Pandita, a person who has superior intelligence, who has humility, can differentiate between a beginner student and an advanced student. He can differentiate between, what is the next one? Gavi Hastini, between a cow and an elephant. Cow is a relatively small animal. But an elephant is a big animal. So bodily there may be a difference, but a Pandita knows that they are in the same category because they are both spirit souls. And the third example given by Krishna is Sunichaiva and Swapakecha. Between the person who eats the dog and the dog itself. It's the same living entity. One living entity is eating another living entity. So they don't see the difference. They see all these categories as living entities. Of course, they don't deal with them equally. They deal with them according to how beneficial it is for those living entities. It's not like they will take the elephant from the forest and feed grass and keep it in the house. Now, that's dealing with it, like the cow, but that's not how they do it. They understand a cow and an elephant, even though structurally different, but the living spark inside them are the same, that they are all devotees of Krishna, being covered by various layers of ignorance. So that is how a learned person sees. And not just stops with the living spark, he also understands that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, has expanded himself as Paramatma and is situated in every person's heart. So, two things we can understand. One, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very compassionate that he expands himself and he's placed in everyone's heart. And the other thing to understand is that all the living entities deserve the mercy of Krishna equally. That the Paramatma doesn't differentiate, Krishna doesn't differentiate that this person eats dog, so I'm not going to be in his heart, or this is a dog, I'm not going to be in its heart. But Krishna doesn't differentiate that. He is equally disposed and he is present in everyone's heart, facilitating the desires of the living entities. So a learned person has this vision that the compassionate nature of the Lord and how everybody is equal in the vision of the Lord, so it should be equal. They should be equal in our vision too. So that is how the previous verse Brahma speaks about. And these individuals who have that kind of vision are called panditas. But here, the exact opposite is described. There are 5 kinds of people described here. People with discrimination. People who discriminate. I will get into the details. I'm going to see if I can get Chitahari's Prabhu's time before he leaves so we can sing a bhajan together, which is very appropriate to this verse. 5 kinds of people described here. People who don't have, who differentiate. First kind. The second kind is those who are simply attached to fruitive activities, karma kandis. And the third kind of people are people who are mean-minded, which results from fruitive activities or desire to enjoy. And the fourth kind are people who are pained to see the flourishing condition of others. And if they see others, they become envious. If they see the growth of others, expansion of others, they become envious, either materially or spiritually. And the fifth one is the people who give distress to others by using harsh and piercing words. So these 5 people, one should consider that they have already been killed. There's no need to specifically kill them. We will discuss this in more detail, but as I mentioned, Chitahari Prabhu has to leave soon, so if he can play the harmonium. We will sing a nice bhajan by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It's called Amara Jivana. If you have a phone, you can bring it up. It is a bit of a difficult one. Prabhupada sang this particular bhajan, and he also wrote a purport. He did translation and also wrote a purport on this particular bhajan. It pretty much summarizes the verse we are discussing and also summarizes us, the conditioned living entities, or at least me. All right, all good? Yeah, if you can. Everyone has a verse, Amara Jivana by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Amara Jivana sada paperata nahi ka punyera lesha. Amara जीवना सदा पापे रता nahi ko punyeralesha amara jivana sada pape rata nahi ko punyeralesha amara jivana perata nahi ko punyeralesha Parera udvega diyache je khata diyachi jivera klesha Parera udvega diyachi je khata diyachi jivera klesha Nija sukha lagi papa nahi dari daya hina swatapara Nija sukha lagi papa nahi dari daya hina swatapara Para sukha dukhi sada mitya bashi para dukha sukha kara para sukha dukhi sada mitya bashi para dukha sukha kara Ashesha kamana Hridi mahi jamho Rakrodi damba parayana Ashesha kamana Hridi maji mora Krodi damba parayana Ashesha kamana Hridi maji mora Krodi damba parayana Ashesha kamana Hridi maji jamra Krodi Mada mata sada Vishaye mohita Himsa garva vibhushana Mada mata sada Vishaye mohita Himsa garva vibhushana Nidra lasahata sukhaye virata akarye udyogiyami Nidra lasyata sukhaye virata akarye udyogiyami Nidra lasyata sukhaye virata akarye udyoga ami Nidra lasyata sukhaye virata akarye udyogiyami Pratishta lagiya sadhya acharana Lobahata sadakami Pratishta lagiya sadhya acharana Lobahata sadakami Ehana durjana sajana varjita aparadhi nirantara Ehana durjana sajana varjita aparadhi nirantara Ruba karya shunyam sadhana tamana nana dukha jara jaram Shubha karya shunya sadhana tamana nana dukha jara jaram Vada kyai khana upaye vihana tata dina kinchana Vadya ekana upaya vihana tata Vadyankya ekhana upaya vihana tate dina akincanam. Vada ekana upaya vihana tate dina akincanam. Bhakati vinoda Prabhu re charane karo dukha nivedana. Bhakati vinoda Prabhu re charane kare dukha nivedana. Amara jivana sada pape rada nahi go punya resha. Amara jivana sada pape rada nahi go punya resha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. It's a quite simple language poem. Anybody with a bit of an Indian language experience like Hindi, Telugu or Bengali, well this is in Bengali, so, or Nepali can, if you just read it you can understand. Written in very simple terms. Every time when I ask myself, why am I in this material world? This is the answer. This poem is the answer. Because it pretty much summarizes all our predicament, everyone. Like in the purport, Prabhupada says, apart from very few pure devotees, every one of us are in this similar situation. Even though this book has a purport, I prefer to read Srila Prabhupada's purport on this. Let me just bring it up. Thank you, Chitahari Prabhu. Hope your son-in-law is not going to get upset with you for coming late. That's right, the internet chooses not to work now. Yeah, it's dead. Thank you. This is from Prabhupada's translation. Okay. So just to save time, I'll just read the purport myself, or translation myself. The first verse, I am an impious sinner and have caused others great anxiety and trouble. So that's the starting point. I have never hesitated to perform sinful acts for my own enjoyment. Devoid of all compassion, concerned only with my selfish interest, I am remorseful seeing others happy. I am a perpetual liar, and the misery of others is a source of great pleasure for me. The material desires within the core of my heart are unlimited. I am wrathful, devoted to false pride and arrogance, intoxicated by vanity and bewildered by worldly affairs, envy and egotism are the ornaments I wear. So if next time somebody asks for my bio, I will just forward this song. Ruined by laziness and sleep, I resist all pious deeds. Yet I am very active and enthusiastic to perform wicked acts. For worldly fame and reputation, I engage in the practice of deceitfulness. Thus I am destroyed by my own greed. I'm always lustful. A vile, wicked man such as this, rejected by godly people, is a constant offender. I'm such a person, devoid of all good works, forever inclined towards evil, worn out and washed by various miseries. Now in old age, deprived of all means of success, humbled and poor, Bhaktivinoda submits his tale of grief at the feet of the Supreme Lord. Okay. So here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur wears the shoes of common man and describes their predicament. Amara Jivana Sada Papera. Our life, Sada Papera, is always sinful. Always sinful. And there is no Nahiko Punya relation, and there is no ounce of piety. There is no ounce of piety. If we had any piety, we won't be struggling to perform devotional service. Can't see. Everybody struggles. Every day it's a struggle. Finish 16 rounds. It's like a big weight hanging on our head. Finish your rounds. Read the books. So there's no piety. And you can see, born in Kali Yuga, we're all kind of poor. We don't have much riches. Even so-called living in the West, the salary just pays the mortgage, pays the bills, and everybody's complaining. There's no piety. Papera udvega diachi jekota, diachi jivera klesha. Because of the disturbance, papera udvega, because of the disturbance caused by my sinful activities, I'm perpetually disturbed. And not only disturbed, I'm also a source of disturbance for others. Source of disturbance and suffering for others. Anybody who is closely related to you can vouch for that. You're always bothering others. It's getting a bit wrong. Nija sukha lagi papa nahi dari. For our own pleasure, we never think twice to commit sinful activities. Just for a little meager pleasure, we can forego all kind of rules and regulations, just for our own satisfaction. And we don't have any mercy. If anybody comes between us and our enjoyment, we are ready to destroy them. There's no mercy. It doesn't matter who they are. To the extent, nowadays, the women kill their child in the womb. This thing, superficial words. No. This is actually very true, and very serious topic. These things, Diyahina, Swartha Para. So, no mercy. Your own child, you kill it so that you can enjoy. Para Sukha Dukhi Sada Mityabashi. So, looking at others' happiness, we become very frustrated, become very sad by looking at others' happiness. Like, you go to the wedding and all the bridegrooms are miserable because her friend is getting married. This is the predicament. You're supposed to be their friends. They're all thinking, oh, why not? It's me. It's just not that, not just bridegrooms, every one of us, we are. And on top of it, sada mithya bashi. We always speak lie. Everything we speak is lie. Even simple things. Simple things, even devotees. Simple things, people lie for everything. And Prabhupada says the reason for pandemic, the pandemic we suffered, Prabhupada says it's the main reason is people lying. In Kali Yuga, supposedly the truth is supposed to be the last pillar. But now, everybody just lies for everything. Everything. There is no, you can't trust anyone. Like, back in the days, any business transaction, at least in India, is, people give word. That's it. You don't need a contract written. People exchange, diamond merchants and gold merchants. It's all based on word and trust. There's no lies. There's no impurities, even in recent times. But now, everybody lies. And Prabhupada said that all these lies, they evaporate and they come down as epidemics, as diseases. And he especially pointed out the lawyers. They go to the court and lie, and all these lies. So here, sada mithya bashi. So we are constantly speaking lies. This is something what Bhavananda Prabhu used to pick on me. He says, just answer straight. Why do you need to lie? Because every time he'll catch me saying something or doing something, and I'll try to get away. I don't want to make a scene, just want to say something to get away. He says, why do you lie for simple things? Prahalad, why do you lie all the time? Why can't you just say the truth? So, we lie all the time. Yeah, para dukkha sukha kare. So, by seeing, it repeats, again repeated, by looking at others' misery, I'm delighted. Ashesha kamana hridi maje mora. Unlimited desires. Our heart is unlimited desires. So, for example, when I used to live in Mayapur, and I never wanted to leave Mayapur, quite happy there. And I never even used to go to Navadvip or Calcutta. The only reason I used to go outside of the compound is to go to Ganges. Otherwise, I never went outside. I was quite happy. And at one point, I said, look, I'm not a brahmachari material. I need some money. So let me just go to West, make some money, and quickly come back. And it's been 23 years. I'm still quickly going back. You come here and you make little money, and then you want to do more, and you want to buy a property, and then you want to buy investment properties, and you want to do this, and you want to do this, and you just constantly, your desires increasing. I mean, it's just a single guy, and I got, my siblings all grew up. At least when they were young, I had to help them out. But now, they're all grown up. There's nothing holding me here. But what's holding me here is the idea to enjoy. It's not even you're enjoying, the idea to enjoy. This constant desire. And out of not fulfilling this constant enjoyment, we are always angry. We are always angry. Saturday morning, take a drive. Bad drivers. Saturday drivers are considered bad drivers. Moms dropping off kids, soccer moms dropping off kids, and real estate, and there's too many cars. And they're all terrible drivers. And everybody is furious of each other. Everybody gets so angry. They all honk at each other. And just a little thing, road rage. Because they're constantly agitated. They're constantly in anxiety that their desires haven't been satisfied, fulfilled. So when your desires are not satisfied, you're constantly on edge. All it takes is a little poke and you explode. So that's it. Krodhi, constantly angried. And what does Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita? What happens to anger? Anger leads to buddhinasha, destruction of intelligence. And once the destruction of intelligence happens, you become mad. So, constant desires followed by anger, and that any intelligence we have, we lose that. And once we lose that intelligence, we're just mad. Constantly mad. And then on top of it, Hamsa Garva Vibhushana. On top of it, the ornaments, in spite of being mad, I'm laughing at myself here. So, in spite of being mad, the ornaments we decorate ourselves are pride and envy. We are very proud of our so-called achievement, and we are constantly envious of others. So these are the ornaments we wear. And how do we cope with this? With all this mental madness? The next verse. Nidra alasa. By constantly sleeping and being lazy. That's how we deal with our madness. Now, we don't want to get up from bed because you don't want to deal with it. Let me just lie down. And being lazy, doing nothing. Zoning out. I know it's a bit of a depressing class, but it is what it is. We zone out. How do we zone out? TV. We watch Netflix, movies, binge, television binge. So that's how we zone out. So, Nidra Alasa. So, by laziness and sleep. And adverse to pious activities. We don't want to perform pious activities. For us, pious activities is come into the temple, Mangalarti, do some service, read. These are the pious activities we can do in this Kali Yuga. We have no interest. It's day in and day out struggle. I've been coming to on and off Mangalarti for 25 years, and every day I'm late. It's only a few days I make it before the 4:30. You're trying to sleep that little 5 minutes. So no interest in performing any pious activities. But at the same time, happy to perform Yudhyogiyami, Akarya Yudhyogiyami. I'm happy to, just for my own sense gratification, I'm happy to go to work. Work under some really horrible people who otherwise I would never deal with them. But I happily say, yeah, you're great. Work under them. Just so that I can get that paycheck. On the contrary, you want to perform devotion service and tell people to come to Mangalarti, or you tell yourself come to Mangalarti. Oh, Prabhu, it's hard work. But, we are there 8:30 every day logging in. Yes, boss. So that we can get few. So we are happy to do Akarya Yudhyogi. We are happy to be employed. Yudhyogi. The word is employed. We are happy to be employed in akarmic activities for our own little paycheck so that we can enjoy. Pratishta Lagiya Shatya Acharana. Pratishta. uh, for name and fame. To get name and fame, you'll perform any harmful acts. You will undercut somebody, you will do a coup, you badmouth people, you'll do anything just so that you can be on top. The modern day leadership. It's not like people become leaders nowadays because they are qualified. They become leaders because they destroy their opposition by good or bad means. So, when devotees want to become managers, you got to be conscious, why am I becoming manager? Is it for pratishtha lagiya, by undercutting everyone? Or I have a genuine reason that I'm qualified, that I have to serve? Because nowadays everybody wants to be a manager. And what is that? The new managerial technique is give a manager position to everyone. If you want to be a good leader, you're a manager for washing bathrooms. You're a manager for kitchen. That's a technique to be a leader now. Make everybody feel that they are recognized. So this kind of false leadership, pratishtha, and name and fame. So, and so what do you do? Shataya acharana. So you indulge yourself in duplicit activities. You're naming others, glorifying others, so that they'll be subservient. You really don't care about others when it comes to it. You're just doing those so-called niceties just so that, he's a good leader. So it's a bit of a duplicity from both the parties. Oh, he lets me to be the manager of the washing bathroom department, and I let him be the leader of me. So it's a mutual duplicity. So that's, I'm adept in duplicity. I'm expert in being duplicitous so that I can achieve my goals. And I'm always lobha hata sada kami. And I'm always lusty, either for name, fame, position, women, men, luxury, cars, whatever. Constantly lusty. Sada kami. Always greedy to accumulate more. Same thing repeats again. So then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, part of the sadhana, what is it? Where does this come from? This poem comes from, there's a set of poems emphasizing humility before surrender, Sharanagati. So before one takes Sharanagati to the Lord, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, this is the kind of mentality one should cultivate. It's not cultivate, just realize. It's not like I'm cultivating my false humility. It is quite wide open. It just one has to come to the realization that this is me. So that, when we surrender, the humility, and people say, Prabhu, you got to be humble, it's not something you artificially put it on. Oh, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. It's not artificial. You just then it becomes Shatya Acharana, duplicit Acharana. My spiritual master used to say, people come to me and they say, oh, I'm so fallen Maharaj, I'm so fallen Maharaj. I have no intelligence. And my Guru Maharaj used to say, I think he used to tell me, okay, then I just tell them, okay, you're so fallen, if you don't have intelligence, do what I say. And they won't do it. So it's not about the false humility, oh, I'm so fallen. Pretend till you become perfect. No, it's not like that. When, in the verse Prabhupada quotes, Trinadapi Sunichena, it has to come through self-analysis, knowing this is what I am. And that humility is the real humility. I'm acting on that. So here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, taking the example of a common man, hints how we develop our humility before we achieve the Sharanagati, or surrender to the Lord. So here he says, because of all these wonderful qualities of us, all the saintly persons have rejected us. They don't want to do anything to do with you. Ehana durjana, sajjana varjita, or you have rejected them because you don't want to be in their association, because their humility, their act of surrender constantly reminds you of what you're doing wrong. So you conveniently don't want to be in their association. You want to act so that you can act. Aparadi nirantara. And by rejecting the association of saintly persons, you're constantly engaged in offenses after offenses after offenses. And there's no subhakarya shunya. Again, it's same thing repeated with a different word. There is no pious activity. There's sunya, zero pious activities in our life. Sada anartha mana. Anartha means, even in Indian languages we know anartha. Anartha means it's unwanted. Sada anartha. Always involved in unwanted activities. By all this, I'm constantly inflicted by, oppressed, inflicted by miseries. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, now, leading this life, I've become old. And I have no other, apart from these habits, I have no other shelter. This is my life. So I become helpless. And in this condition, in this destitute condition, I take shelter of your lotus feet, so you can rescue me. So that's a mood. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings this song. And it's a mood a devotee should realize, I should realize, and surrender based on these inflictions. Anyway, let me go back to the verse. So, there are 5 qualities. What time is it? Probably time already. I haven't even started the verse. So, how do I convert this? Okay. So, this is the situation of each and every one of us. In previous ages, there was some piety which Krishna came in different incarnations and fanned the fire and encouraged people. If they're not coming along, Krishna just killed them all. We can see in the battle of Kurukshetra, the entire Krishna's appearance, apart from his association with the devotees, encouraging his devotees. What is that verse from Bhagavad Gita? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chatuskritam. When you look at it, vinashaya chatuskritam was in numbers so much more. The number of people he was instrumental in getting killed. So, but in Kali Yuga, there is no population which is pious to fan the fire. Everyone is a valid candidate for getting killed. So, the conversation what Brahma is having is very similar to the conversation what Nityananda Prabhu had with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When, anyone can tell when? Jagamadai, thank you. Very good. Jagai and Madai. When Jagai and Madai, attacked Nityananda Prabhu and he was bleeding, and Mahaprabhu decided, that's it. He wanted to kill them. And then Nityananda Prabhu appeals, you can't going around killing people. If you want to do that, you have to kill everyone. everyone is an embodiment of Jaga and Mada in this Kali Yuga. So you have come here to rescue them. Your mission is different. Your Sango Pangastra, your weapons are different. Your weapons are the devotees. They come to propagate this preaching mission. So Nityananda Prabhu shares the same sentiment what Brahma shares with Lord Shiva, that there's no point of killing Daksha and his followers. So better be merciful unto him. That's a prayer of Nityananda Prabhu to Lord Chaitanya. Today is also the appearance day of Ramanujacharya, who had a very similar mood. Ramanujacharya is the prominent acharya of the Sri Vaishnava school. There are 4 Vaishnava schools, and we come under the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. And Ramanujacharya school is very prominent in South India, but they are also spread all over India. Mahaprabhu appeared to synchronize all the 4 sampradayas under one umbrella. So in future, all these sampradayas will work under one sampradaya, under Mahaprabhu's umbrella. So even though we come from Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, when you look at it, our relationship with Madhvas are very, very minimal. We don't take much. I wouldn't say we won't take much. The relationship we have is very, very distant. But on the other hand, we take a lot of inspiration, not we per se, like the Gaudiya Vaishnavas take a lot of inspiration from the Sri Vaishnava school. A lot of sentiments we adopt from Sri Vaishnava school. Our core philosophy, of course, Mahaprabhu has expounded further, but our core philosophy is very similar to the Sri Vaishnava school taught by Ramanujacharya more than Madhvacharya himself. So when Mahaprabhu did his tour of South India, he actually spent time and gave association, and the most he spent outside of Puri and Mayapur is in Srirangam, the headquarters of the Ramanujacharya. He spent more time. And not only his time was much more giving and taking association. Well, being a Supreme Lord, he is giving association. He is giving their company. He is exchanging philosophical thoughts with them. He is not defeating them or preaching them. Now, there's only one instant where he speaks to Venkatabhatta about the superiority of the Vraja Rasa. And even that he immediately says, "Oh, I'm just joking." He doesn't really go into the detail of it. So he quite enjoys the association of the Sri Vaishnavas. But when our own Sampradaya, Purvacharya Sampradaya, Madhvas, he was not very happy. He just spent some little time with the Tattvavadis. They just spoke very dry philosophy. He just says, "Okay, I'm done here," and he leaves. He complains, you're speaking all this philosophy, but you're not following this. You're just stuck to Varnashram, but you're not going beyond that. And then he leaves. So, our Sampradaya is very much, we take a lot of inspiration, share inspiration from Ramanujacharya. It doesn't mean that we should give up our Sampradaya and go and take initiation from them, but we appreciate what they have. The two of the things two critical points what Mahaprabhu took from Sri Vaishnava school is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Anavritam. So, bhakti, devotional service to the Lord, is the only activity of the living entities, the pure devotional aspect. no karma, no jnana. So that inspiration, that sentiment, he took from Ramanujacharya's school. And the next important thing he took from Ramanujacharya's school is serving Vaishnavas. Serving senior Vaishnavas, or people who are senior to us by age or by knowledge or intelligence or by experience, Vaishnavas, and the Guru Bhakti, Vaishnava, worship of Vaishnavas and spiritual master. So these two he took, he copied from the Sri Vaishnava school. And Ramanujacharya, again, it's time. If you guys want to go, you can. I'll just, if anybody wants to listen, I'll just glorify Ramanujacharya and then I'll finish. Ramanujacharya was born, 1,000 years ago? We just celebrated his 1000th appearance day 10 years or 15 years ago in a town called Sriperumbudur, which is 60 kilometers from Chennai, from Madras, very close to my hometown. He appeared there, his appearance place. There's a temple there, still there. You can go and visit. There's a deity of Ramanujacharya there. And he established, till his appearance, the Advaita philosophy, the Mayavad Advaita philosophy was the prominent philosophy of India. The Shankarites, Shankaracharya preached the Advaita philosophy all over India, and everybody more or less became a Mayavadi. And Ramanujacharya was the first in that historic timeline, put a stop to the Mayavad philosophy. And Prabhupada was very keen about defeating Mayavadis. That's why he wrote his own pranam mantra. What is that? Nirvisesha Shunyavadi. Against Nirvisesha and Shunyavadi, you want to put a stop. So similarly, Ramanujacharya also was very strong, preaching against the Mayavad philosophy. And he pretty much converted the entire India during his time in the world. He defeated all the Mayavadis and all the Buddhists from India. He went to all the main holy places like Badrikashram, Jagannath Puri, Dwaraka, and he defeated the Mayavad school and propagated Vaishnava, Vishishtadvaita philosophy, the philosophy of duality. And there's a lot of nice pastimes, but I can keep going all day. I'll just stop here if you have any questions or comments. I'll answer. No? All right, great, thank you. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Ramanujacharya appearance day ki, Nithai Go Premanande, Haribo. Shri Prabhupada ki, Jai. Thank you for the